This is my video for the Rio Black rifle match held April 3rd, 2021. For this match, I'm using my 20-inch KP15 in Woodland Cerakote by Weeplead II. It has the Steiner T536 fixed 5-power optic mounted. This stage has 3 steel targets engaged once, an array of 3 steel targets engaged twice, and 3 paper targets. The shooter begins the stage engaging the static steel at 50 yards once each. Once those are engaged, the shooter moves on to engage the targets at distance from the spool. I deploy my bipod, stabilize by leaning up against the prop, and get on target. These targets are at roughly 300 to 400 yards. Moving to the next position, the shooter engages the close-range paper. After the close-range paper are done, I switch magazines and fold my bipod up to stabilize off the top of this barrel. The target at 400 yards at the far right is the most challenging. With the fixed 5-power optic, I can see the impacts clearly enough to adjust fire accordingly. On this stage, I am first in Stealth Division, giving me 100 match points. This stage has an array of 3 steel targets engaged once from the chopper and once from the top of the truck. There are 4 paper targets in between.
Stand by.
This front position is a trade-off between how stable do you want to get versus how much time do you want to spend getting stable. I opt for the faster, less stabilized position. The last target is the most difficult because the chopper is moving under recoil from each shot fired. From this back position, I have a hard time getting in the eye box of the optic at the angle I have to engage the targets from. Your feet aren't allowed to touch the ground before you engage the target, so I have to shoot from this position, and it's at a difficult angle being left-handed. Now to the top of the truck and deploy the bipod. Getting hung up at the back of the chopper cost me a bit percentage-wise. I am 8th in stealth on this stage with 72.64% of the winner's score. There are 4 steel targets engaged twice from 2 positions, 3 steel targets engaged once, and 4 paper targets on this stage. I begin by engaging the tiny diamonds off to the left, then onto the silhouette at about 300, then to this steel target at 200. From here, I have 3 static steel at about 50 yards. I opt to take the quick route of jumping off the edge, which amuses Jordan.
My man said, fuck those knees.
The final paper target has to be taken from up here, and then I transition to prone and re-engage the 4 steel targets. I'm first in Stealth Division, giving me 100 match points. There are 5 steel targets on the stage engaged from 2 positions. On this stage, I opt to engage the targets in a straight left to right engagement sequence. So the first target is close at about 90 yards. Then the second one is up on the hill at just under 400 yards. The next target's at about 200, and the final target in this array to the right is at about 300 yards. Switching positions, I reload and fold the bipod back up so I can support off the stairs in a natural position. Engage the targets in the same sequence, the first one at 90, then up on the hill, then the other targets at 200 to 300. On this stage, I'm second in stealth with 98.29% of the winner's score. In the end, I'm first out of 23 shooters in stealth with 370.92 points out of 400 possible. Overall, I'm 7th out of 66 shooters with 79.81% of the winner score. Thank you for watching. Come back again for more match and multi-gun competition content.